Today, we are talking about something that is sucking up a ton of your time and possibly your will to live, and that is social media. So, if you've ever found yourself just spending hours creating captions, doing stuff on Canva, maybe even avoiding social media altogether because you feel guilty for not posting, this episode is for you. So, look, I promise that social media is not out to get you. And while seeing your follower count go up or getting more likes is really good for your ego, it actually may not be that great at doing the one thing that your business needs, and that is getting clients. So, in this episode, we're going to look at how do you put social media to work so it actually helps your business. And then I want to share a visibility system with you that I started using for myself, and then I share with my clients, and then I created a GPT to help me do it. And it is saving me hours because it takes all the guesswork out of wondering what I should post. So basically, I can get back to the client work that I really love. I'm Laura Zovelson, and this is the Gen Expert Show, where we talk about how to build your coaching and consulting business so you can grow your revenue to the point where you are 100% confident that being in business for yourself is totally worth it. And so you never, ever even have to think about going out there and looking for a job again. So, what is social media actually good for? And it's worth it to take a minute just to think about that. I think it's great at doing three things. First of all, it's good at discovery, right? Helping people that have never heard of you find you for the first time. I think it's good at sort of starting to form a connection because they get a glimpse of your style, your vibe, a little bit about what you think about. They get a little soundbite. So maybe it helps them get interested in learning a little bit more about you. And awareness, right? If you talk about your offer on social media, which I hope you do, it actually helps them realize that you have something they might need, right? But then they're going to need to go deeper. People are generally not going to make a $3,000, a $5,000, a $10,000 buying decision based on 45 seconds of you talking. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say you're a career coach, right? And so you post a tip about LinkedIn headlines and it gets some likes. Well, that's great. But that tip is probably not going to get somebody to spend a bunch of money with you because what they need is a deeper sense of, can you help me? How are you going to help me? Do you have the qualifications and credibility that I trust you to help me? And why is this time going to be different? And is your solution good for my specific situation? Right. And I just think it's really hard. I actually think it's impossible to get that across in a 30-second reel. So that can be great for getting noticed, but I don't think it's so great for getting people over the line. So, what do we need to do to get people to a place where they're ready to buy? I actually think it's long form content. I think it's blogs. I think it's increasingly podcasts, videos, and newsletters. So, let me offer you another way to think about social media. Okay. It's kind of like social media is the invitation, and your long form content, that's the party. So, one of the reasons I think that long form content is super powerful, and obviously I must think it works, and it does work. Otherwise, I would not be here doing this every week, right? Here's what you can do in long form content that you really can't do with short form. You can share frameworks and what makes you different. You can tell real stories. You can explain why your approach works. It lets you build trust, right? And when you do all of those things, that's how you help people kind of shift their thinking and get to the point where they're ready to accept your help. Now, I know you're worried that long form content is going to take too much time. But I actually want to show you how this approach can actually save you time. And I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But first, I want to give you two facts that back me up on why long form is important and why I encourage every single one of my clients to pick a kind of long form content that they want to create and start creating it consistently. And here's why. First of all, 91% of all content on the internet gets no organic traffic because it's shallow, it's repetitive, and it's disconnected. So long form is how you get around that. Okay. And then there was a 2021 study that said that 73% of decision makers say thought leadership content makes them more likely to trust a business. So there is data that shows that long form content creates trust, which creates buyers. So I want to tell you about one of my clients who is an executive coach. All right. So she was pretty consistent on social media, but she really resented how much time it took, wasn't sure what it was doing for business. She had had a podcast and a newsletter at different times in the past. She had let them both go when she got busy. So we talked about which one would be the easiest for her to pick back up. And she decided it would be the blog, which she also sent out as an email newsletter. So we created a content for her based on her framework and her point of view. Within 6 weeks of starting to send out that email newsletter again and promoting it on social media, she booked 3 new clients. Now, these were people that were already on her list, but they had not heard from her in a while, and they probably didn't fully understand her offer. But when she started showcasing how she helped people and got results and showed proof, they made the connection. So while social might be the level of content that gets people on your list or to tune into your video or to read your blog post, right? It's this core connection content that really does the trick when you're trying to get people to buy. So let's get back to this time objection. I can hear all of you through the internet saying, I don't have time to do long form content and social media. But what if I told you that there was a way to speed all of this up? And I call it write once, post all week. Because a lot of the time you're spending on social is just figuring out what to post. So, what I do and what I teach my clients to do is flip the model. So we're going to walk through this in the video in just a second, but I also want you to know you can download this visibility plan in the description. And the reason you might want to do it is I built a cool Copilot GPT that actually speeds this up even more. All right. But the plan works like this. You start with one piece of long form content each week. So it could be your podcast script or your transcript. It could be your blog, your newsletter. Okay. Then what you do is we're going to pull your short form content out of it, right? So Monday, you do a post or a reel about the big idea, and then you tell them where to go read or listen to the rest of the content. Tuesday, you do a quick reel or a post about the why behind what you wrote, right? What's the story? Where did you get the idea? Why is the concept important? Okay. Wednesday, I would say you could do a static post, a carousel, a poll that asks a question related to the topic, and then you drop the answer from what you wrote in the caption. Okay, Thursday, another reel, this time about how the topic of whatever you wrote about relates to your offer. Okay, so we're going to make sure we're selling in at least one of our socials every week. And then finally, Friday, we're going to do a hot take or an opinion that you have about that you talk about in your article. And you can pull the script directly from the transcript. Or if you use a tool like Descript, like I do, let the editing tool do the work for you. So suddenly, instead of scrambling for ideas, you have a week's worth of strategic, belief shifting content. And it's all aligned with your message. So let me show you how it worked using this transcript from today's episode. Today, we are talking about something that is sucking up a ton of your time and possibly your will to live, and that is social media. So, if you've ever found yourself just spending hours creating captions, doing stuff on Canva, maybe even avoiding social media altogether because you feel guilty for not posting, this episode is for you. And if you're a ChatGPT user, I did build a custom GPT that has all the hooks, all the headlines in there for you. And so all you have to do is copy paste your text or your transcript right into the GPT, and but it'll give you the hook, the headline, and the talking points for the reel. It'll give you static post ideas that also include captions. 91% of all content on the internet gets no organic traffic because it's shallow, it's repetitive, and it's disconnected. So, long form is how you get around that. So, I did all of that in under an hour easily. So, here's what having a visibility plan that you reuse every single week does for you. First of all, no more wondering what to post, no more content that sounds disconnected or random, and no more feeling guilty that you feel like you need to be being more visible on social, but it's sucking up all your time, right? So let me be 100% clear. I think if you're a coach or consultant today, you need to be creating some kind of long form content because I think that's the way you build know, like, trust online. And honestly, with everybody having the heebie jeebies about AI created content and frankly, with a lot of people out there who are selling business help, who have no business being in business, you need a way to show how you're different. And yeah, I also think you need to create social media because you need to invite people and help them discover what you're saying in that long form content. So my visibility plan actually pairs these two together, and it should make it easier for you because now all the pieces line up and you have a process that you can use over and over again so this doesn't take up your whole damn day. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Okay, first of all, social media, yeah, you need to have it, but it doesn't go far enough to make the deep connections that get clients. Second, long form content is where your thought leadership lives, and that's where the sales begin. All right. And finally, if you repurpose strategically and you use the same process over and over again, well, frankly, you just get a lot of mind space back, you get time back, and social media doesn't have to be that much of a chore. Okay. So here's what I recommend: go ahead and grab the Write Once, Post All Week resource that's in the description or the show notes. Okay. It's completely free. And that's going to walk you through exactly what I talked about earlier in the video, which is how to take your long form content and basically look at it from different angles so you have something useful and strategic to post 5 days a week. Okay. And if you're a chat GPT user, I did build a custom GPT that has all the hooks, all the headlines in there for you. And so all you have to do is copy paste your text or your transcript right into the GPT, and but it'll give you the hook, the headline, and the talking points for the reel. It'll give you static post ideas that also include captions, same thing for carousels, and in whatever mix that you prefer for 5 days a week of content. So if you got something from today's video, I really hope you'll give me a like. If you enjoyed it, I hope you'll give me a subscribe so we can stay connected. And if you use the visibility tool and the GPT, please leave me a note in the comments and let me know how it worked for you. Okay, I really do read them. I really do respond. All right. Well, my socials are all set for the week. So I'm going to take the rest of this beautiful summer day and get outside. And I hope you'll do it too. And until then, I'll see you in the next one.